Okay, so I was watching old Siskel and Eberts, right?
Okay.
And they were arguing about the Doors. And
They argue about music?
no, no, the movie The Doors,
Oh,
the Oliver
oh,
Stone
oh,
movie.
okay, okay.
Now, what always annoyed me about The Doors is how they fell for his whole "I'm a shaman," and I came across when I was a child. There were these dead Indians on the road, and one of the Indians went into my soul, and he's been part of my body, and
The
now I'm
the
a
the
shaman.
Jim Morrison
Yes, and that's why
shenanigans.
I fuck everything that moves. That's why I'll have. That's why I'll screw like male prostitutes in an alley behind a bar, even though I'm famous and it's the '60s. Um, that's why he'll do every drug known to man, and he eventually died of an overdose. And they would run with that. And then, and Roger Ebert's just like, this is like a high school kid's idea of a movie about Jim Morrison. This is a terrible human being. Why are, and I was like, yeah, dude, the more interesting movie would be like, hey, let's find out who molested him as a child. That would
Right.
be an interesting movie. Like, why don't you
Right.
talk about him like he's a real
Why
person?
was he breaking into women's rooms as a teenager and all of this other shit?
Well, Oliver Stone pitched a movie a couple of times, didn't quite go through, where he wanted to remove the mythology from a particular person. Not Jim Morrison, but you're going to like this
Okay.
one.
Trying again?
I did.
Yeah.
No go. I also tried to make the Martin Luther King story years ago. Many years I worked on it. Martin Luther King's a great story, but it's too tough a story to tell. I mean, I think there's a large portion of the black community that's really kind of treats him like a saint, a martyr, whereas this is more of
He was literally a martyr, but okay.
Yeah, it's literally a martyr.
and his fault, his failings and this and that, but he's a hero in this. But, his relationship with women is fascinating. And we were into that whole
One word
aspect of
for
it.
it.
And what happened with that?
It just never got together. Never.
Man, it might be a good time to revisit that now.
No, I tried.
Joe Rogan.
It went right.
No.
I think it
No.
went. Okay, I think it went
No.
right over his head.
Right.
What he just said. His relationship with women was fascinating. I think that went right over Joe Rogan's head.
How far down the road had you gotten with the Martin Luther King story?
Twice I went.
Yeah.
I wrote me and someone else wrote a whole script. I think it's very good. But gone. You can't. So many films get planned and not made. For every
Yeah.
film you do, there's like five abortions.
Damn. That seems like a great one, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I mean, he's such an incredible and important character. And boy, does the world need a Martin Luther King Jr. right now.
I don't think that's what he had in mind.
Yeah, like
That is not what he had in mind.
like what?
It totally went over his head when he goes, his relationship with women is fascinating, but yeah. In other words, he's going to producers and going, listen, we've gotten a glimpse of some of these FBI recordings, and I want to have that in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of put that into the J. Edgar movie.
Oh, did they?
With Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know who actually directed or made
Clint
it.
Eastwood.
Yeah. Okay, so that was kind of in there when they were showing him basically inventing the FBI. There was a hint where he pulls out Martin Luther King's file, and it's just like, all right, we're gonna get him. So it's in other movies. I don't know if that's the part that we need to talk about.
Well, everybody always says, hey, that famous story about J. Edgar Hoover tried to convince him to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
But the footage that they're talking about that he sent him is what he was going to say. We're going to release this, but then they never did. And then they sent it to his wife, and he's like, dude, I think, I told a joke about Tupac. I have that bit that I always do about the 27 Club. And sometimes I was, playing around with it. And I took it a little too far.
With Tupac?
Yeah.
Well, people,
and somebody got mad. He wanted to fight.
African Americans think he's a saint or some kind of martyr.
Yeah, and I was
He's
like,
some kind of martyr.
and somebody got triggered, and I was like, okay, I totally understand that. And this guy got mad, and I was like, you know what? The bit's not normally like that. I don't really go around saying he asked for it. On a comedy stage,
Right.
I was just experimenting a little bit.
It's hard to say that in Vegas too, and
Yeah,
it's a hard thing.
People become
it's
things.
like shitting on Elvis.
People become
twice.
more than the sum of their parts. It's just so funny to me that he wanted to. He's like, well, we better not touch this Jim Morrison stuff You know, we might anger some people, but he goes to 2 different producers twice and goes, I really want to have like some like orgy scenes maybe with Martin Luther King. Like, have you ever seen JFK?
Like, no, I haven't.
Oh, JFK is a great movie,
Okay.
but there's this weird thing where he seems to imply like gay people had a huge hand in JFK's assassination.
I hate these
because he keeps cutting to these clips of like Tommy Lee Jones and Joe Pesci wearing like powdered wigs and spanking each other and stuff.
So JFK was LGBT plot, and Martin Luther King.
Well, he says it was the CIA.
Yeah.
It's just that all the people who
okay.
were involved in the murder all happened to be gay.
Okay, this is like some helter skelter type nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, why say? This is gonna sound fucked up, but I would watch this movie. Like,
Oh,
like,
yeah, of course I would watch
ask
this movie.